Hello guys, it's Zyklone from Zyklone Drone Solutions, and we'll be doing the XK-K110, which I think is not arguably the best helicopter ever, but most assuredly. And I'll tell you as we shoot the video, never mind the mess, I'm gonna move. We're moving and I've tossed everything everywhere and we're gonna get all this stuff sorted out. It's crazy and everything, but I thought this would be a great proving ground for the XK-K110, which this, again, as I said, is not arguably, but most assuredly, the best helicopter ever. And I'm strapping the camera to my head. Please have patience with me. Uh, and we'll take off, and I'll give you a demonstration and a little explanation of why this helicopter is the best helicopter and the best bargain of all time. Uh, let's plug this in and initialize it. This is a brushless motor in here with a true ESC. That's one of the reasons this is great. The other is that I've crashed this a million times and never had one problem. It just flies and flies and flies, and there is just no problems with it. As far as handling, it is supremely agile, but remarkably stable and responsive, accurate to the controls. I trust this so much I'll be using the Lenovo laptop of mine as the helipad. Okay, so we've got the radio on, everything. This is 6G, 3G mode, so it has a 6-axis gyro, meaning it can fly upside down and still have gyro in the 3 directions. I'm gonna light my cigarette now. We'll take off. This is the throttle hold. This would put you in 3D mode here, you know, where you could do the upside down and everything. But right now we'll go ahead and fly and show you just how stable this bird is and how truly remarkably. Look at that stability there. That's hands off. Okay, now I must tell you that I have the throttle set, and that's what makes this system so wonderful above all helis, is this is a Futaba authorized protocol, so you're getting supreme control and smoothness and just, I mean, absolute precision. And I've had this thing, never have I flown a small heli so far and with such confidence. I dare fly this everywhere because not even the tail motor has malfunctioned. But right now we'll start doing, I'll just do the smooth aspects of it, of how smooth this flies. And then we'll do some more radical type maneuvers to demonstrate the pitch. And what I'm doing is basically using pitch to control my heli, because I have the throttle set across the board at 70, or no, 65, sorry. But my pitch varies radically, and that's what you're seeing there. So my throttle's set at the same. The slowing down you hear is from the added pitch slowing the motor down, but you guys see this thing jumps. But the amazing precision of the control is what amazes me, because this model only cost me 70 pounds with the radio, the battery, etc., which you'll be getting also when you order this bird. But look at that, it just throws right to you. Remarkably precise. I fly this confidently anywhere, where I've never done stuff with helis that I've done with this, because of the marvelous precision of control. And just, it's never failed, not once. There was a bent feathering shaft, but that was quickly fixed since the feathering shaft is so small. This thing really goes, man. I mean, it's a rocket. Right now, again, I have the throttle at 65. So you can imagine with 100. Look at that. That's amazing. That is amazing. For the money you're spending. You could just toss this thing around confidently. Now, mind you guys, I am in 6G mode, which is the switch up. If I put this down, it would be stupendously agile. Right now I have the EXP. See, if you go into the mode here, sorry about the middle finger, I'm not trying to flick anybody off, but okay, sorry about the mess, everything again. The move, reverse, DR, you have absolute control. So I have my DR set at 100 on 1, 2, and 4. This would be your dual rate switch, so when I switch that, you'll see my DR on channel 2 is at 100 now, so that would get me to 100. So that's what makes this radio so fantastic, is you could precisely program the perimeters, which you can't with other helicopters. So then you could get this thing responding exactly as you want with the sticks. And the great thing is the pitch. Don't worry about the throttle. Try to keep that smooth and constant, and instead learn to make your heli do things with pitch. Pitch is the important thing in flying a helicopter. Anyways, now we'll go back. EXPs, you know, I have them set at 20. It comes minus 20 default. 20 is more agile. Okay, so you'll have the throttle curve, and okay, we'll go up to the throttle curve. Just a second. Oh goodness. Okay, the throttle curve, you see one is 0, then 57, then, no, 72, sorry, 72, 72. Okay, so we'll get back to flying. I'm not going to put it in 3D mode, because then it would be stupendously agile and fast and quick in this room. Okay, here we go again. We'll resume the flight in the 6-axis gyro, and just look at the fantastic bird. And I've had a bent feathering shaft, so mind you, when this thing is, look at that. Again, hands off, guys. Hands off. When can you do that with your heli? Look at that. And, whoa, almost, but not with this heli. You never get in accidents with this heli if you know what you're doing, you know? Well, you do, but. Look at the agility of that thing. But again, the absolute smoothness of a heli that costs so little. The amazing smoothness. And I still can't. To this day, when I first got it, I couldn't believe it. You know, for the price, I didn't expect. But again, I should have known, because if it truly is Futaba protocol, Futaba is one of the best systems. Look at the precision. And I'm keeping everything above the mid-stick is where I'm doing everything, you know, the pitch-wise, because when I lower it, I'm going to be wanting to drop. So that's still dropping above the third line, but again, too, when you're doing 65% on the throttles, you get a longer flight time. And plus, you know, if you don't give the motor, you don't want to be giving the motor 100%, because then when you get a strike, a tail strike or something, not a tail strike, a rotor strike, you're bound to break something if you've got 100%. But just look at the smoothness of this bird. If you get it at 100%, it is really, at 85% I could fly it in severe gusts, snowstorms, at the beach, and have no problem. No problem whatsoever. This thing just forges. I mean, it does bob around and stuff. Don't think it doesn't, but the 6-axis gyro does an amazing job on this heli. I couldn't think of a better beginner's heli, because this thing right here, you know, is just indestructible, one. And two, it is just so precise when you set it up. If an experienced heli guy sets it up and trims it like I have this one, look, hands off, guys. Just completely hands off, look. No kidding you. This bird is just a joy. Look at that, I had to get away from the wall, and I mean, I punched the throttle and that thing just, I didn't even, because you see how I fly, I have my, whoa, okay, see, I have my finger the throttle kind of braced there. And I never allowed a throttle above a certain point there. So I haven't gone 100%. Everything's above, like the midline there. You see? Everything's above the midline there. So I didn't even, when I punched it there, give it full throttle. But look, it just throws itself with just a touch. Look at that. And right there, I did drop the throttle full and give it throttle. And what you notice by that is the tail does not kick out like most helicopters have a tendency to do under full throttle. The tail tends to kick out. But this system right here, the gyro and everything, just functions superbly where the tail doesn't kick out. I mean, it maintains the pirouette and compensation is really decent. You can't get a better bargain, I don't think, in a better helicopter, you know, for the value. You just cannot. I mean, the line 150s and stuff didn't fly this stably out the box or anything. They were more quirky and jerky, but this thing now, even as it's losing the power, is just smooth. I mean, I don't know. This helicopter has been nothing but a pure pleasure and a joy to me, except, you know, when I bent the feather and shot, those screws are very tiny, so as I'm getting older, my eyesight worse. But look at that. That thing is just spot on. Spot on. There's no better helicopter in the world. And the reason I say that, I mean, we're talking about 70-some pounds for the whole system. And out the box, you don't have to do anything. This flies fantastically. And hits things, doors. You notice the tape and everything. That's just a little thing of mine where I just tried it out tonight to put it on there to see if it makes any fluttering sound or whatever. But it didn't affect nothing. Of course, everything's equally taped, guys. But never mind that. I'll take the cover off. This thing, you can't tell, but has been, I mean, hit the building dead on at full speed, etc. All these things just pop back into place. There's not a screw. These things just snap, pop back in place, and it does the function. It does the job, holding the battery, the ESC. That's a real true ESC there. That is a tiny little cute brushless motor. And everything is just so convenient. Unplug it, change it. This thing snaps off, no screws. Just pull the base off, ESC out. The gear, a lot of people complain about it. No screw in there, nothing. It just slips on. Put a little bit of CA glue, super glue on there or something. Gorilla glue, slam it on, and you won't have a problem. Otherwise, when you first get this and fly it a few times, that's the one issue a lot of people have, is that gear will slip. You'll have like a millimeter gap in between the gear, and the shaft will literally move like a millimeter. So when you give it pitch, you're not getting full pitch because the shaft rises up and it diminishes the pitch. So you'll notice when you're not getting lift to check the gear and push that on there real hard and firmly and everything, not so tight where it's wearing down your motor. Be wary always of how free things rotate, because with brushless motors, when something seizes or something, you could easily burn your ESC out when it's frozen and it's getting power. So do not always, you know, make sure it's free motion, not stiff. So don't tighten your, you know, other helicopters too tight and mash it, etc., etc. Surprising, these tail motors on these small helicopters are a major issue where they burn out real quick. This helicopter here hasn't given me one issue, and I give it a lot of right. I'm not one of those guys trying to save the motor by always going left. Because right, you know, it's getting full power, and with left, basically your centrifugal force from the main motor, the motor cuts off, put it this way, when you turn left. So it speeds up when you turn right. So to save this motor, a lot of guys do a lot of left, which is a good thing to learn. I mean, with these helicopters, because you do save the tail motor like that. This tail motor tracks perfectly. I mean, the tail system with the radio where you won't have no problem. It goes exactly where you put it. So, guys, that'll be it. I'll wrap this up and say I've never had a single issue with this helicopter. Some people may, but again, some people you know, may not have experience with small ones. But anyways, I go ahead and remove the camera from my head and say goodbye. I'll pack this stuff up, clean up a bit and everything, make this place look presentable. But okay, guys, man, good night, good evening, good year. Adios. This is Cyclone from Cyclone Drone Solutions. If you would like to order this helicopter, you can either order it from me or from gearbest.com. But Shipping times, I'd say from GearBest took me 2 weeks approximately, but it's well worth it. 70 some pounds. You can't find a better one. Adios. I can't stop giving praise to this bird. I'm sorry. Adios, amigos.